What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Sean O'Malley believes he's the only fighter who can defeat Merab, the man known as the Machine. With 14 straight victories, Merab currently holds the second longest active win streak in the UFC and recently tied the record for most bantamweight title defenses, making his third successful defense against Corey Sandhagen. Having already taken out the top 4 contenders in the division, fans are wondering who could possibly stop his relentless pace and pressure. According to O'Malley, the answer is simple: only he can. Speaking on his Timbo Sugar Show podcast, O'Malley shared his thoughts on Merab's dominant run and why he believes he's the one fighter capable of ending it. To beat Merab, you just have to land that perfect shot, O'Malley said. You have to be able to snipe him. And lately, he's been getting a little bit more reckless. The more confident he gets in his striking, the more gaps it leaves open to be caught. The bantamweight champ explained that Merab's aggressive style, while effective, creates opportunities for a precise striker like himself to capitalize. O'Malley admitted he doesn't see anyone else in the division having the tools or composure needed to take Merab out. I hate to say it, he said, but I really do think I'm the only one who can beat him. He acknowledged that he still needs to stack up some more wins before earning another shot at the Georgian powerhouse, but his confidence remains unshaken. They give me a shot at that White House card, now I've just got to go out there and get a few more wins, he added with a grin. Despite giving Merab full credit for his success, O'Malley made it clear that the only way to stop the Machine is to shut him down completely. He needs to be clipped. He needs to be knocked out and put to sleep, he said. That's the only way you beat him. And honestly, I just don't see anyone other than myself being able to do it. O'Malley's comments come at a time when the bantamweight division is hotter than ever, filled with rising contenders all chasing a title shot. But while others might try to match Merab's pace or wrestling, O'Malley insists that precision striking is the key. And in his eyes, nobody in the UFC does it better than Sugar. Before moving to the next news, we have one quick request for you. We are constantly working on improving our content to earn your love and support. That is why we truly appreciate it. If you could take just a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on MMA Clash Daily. Moving on to another news, Magomed Ankalaev reportedly fought through serious pain at UFC 320 after suffering a broken rib just weeks before his bout against Alex Pereira. Following his TKO loss, Ankalaev's manager Ali Abdelaziz revealed that the former champion had gone into the fight injured, refusing to pull out despite his team's concerns. Now, new footage has surfaced online confirming those claims, showing Ankalaev struggling with the injury only 20 days before the fight. In the video, his coaches and medical staff can be seen urging him to withdraw, pointing out the visible discomfort in his movement. Still, Ankalaev insisted on competing, determined not to let the opportunity slip away. The clip shows the team examining the area of the injury, asking him where the pain spreads. One of the trainers asks, "Is it more this way or up and down?" Ankalaev winces and points to his side, saying, "This way." When asked which area hurts more, he simply responds, "Yes," through the pain, making it clear how severe the situation was. Despite that, he kept training and preparing for the biggest fight of his career. His refusal to back down reflects the mentality of a true warrior, though it clearly came at a cost once the octagon door closed. To make matters worse, Pereira appeared to target that exact area during their fight. Throughout the first round, the Brazilian landed several heavy body kicks and elbows aimed at Ankalaev's ribs. Each strike seemed to worsen the injury, and by the time the fight was stopped, the damage had become too much to overcome. Many fans who have now seen the footage are praising Ankalaev's toughness and heart, acknowledging that fighting through such an injury against a dangerous striker like Pereira is almost unthinkable. Still, others have questioned whether it was the right decision for him to compete at all. A broken rib severely limits breathing, movement, and defensive reactions, critical factors when facing a powerhouse like Pereira. But Ankalaev's pride and drive to fight for the title ultimately outweighed the risk. Even in defeat, his determination earned the respect of fans and fighters across the MMA world. In lighter news, MMA fans have been sharing their reactions online through a flood of memes. Among the top trending ones, the third most popular meme was posted by Tex Toxics, the second by PhotoOhm, and the number one meme came from As Shocked as It Gets. The MMA community continues to buzz about UFC 320, and if nothing else, Ankalaev's performance has proven that even in loss, heart and grit never go unnoticed. Moving on to another news, rumors are swirling around UFC featherweight champion Ilia and his longtime partner Georgina US Katagwai Bedell. The couple, who have often been seen together at UFC events, are now facing growing speculation about a possible breakup after fans noticed subtle but telling changes on their social media accounts. Online sleuths were quick to point out that Georgina appears to have quietly removed several photos featuring her and Ilia, leaving her profile looking noticeably different from before. Meanwhile, Ilia's own Instagram still has only one family-related post that includes her, which has fueled even more curiosity among fans. Despite the chatter, neither Ilia nor Georgina has made any public statement addressing the situation. Both have remained silent, choosing not to confirm or deny the rumors. The two have been publicly linked for years and are widely reported in media outlets as being married, sharing 2 children together, a son and a daughter. They've long been seen as one of the more private couples in the MMA world, rarely sharing details of their personal life beyond a few public appearances and family moments online. Fans began noticing the changes earlier this week, when Georgina's social media activity shifted. Posts that once highlighted family vacations, fight week moments, and behind-the-scenes clips from Ilia's championship journey seemed to vanish overnight. In their place, she's now been sharing more individual photos and business-related updates, which many took as a sign that something might have changed in her relationship status. Meanwhile, Ilia has stayed focused on his fighting career. The UFC champion, known for his confidence and intensity both inside and outside the octagon, has kept his social media presence mostly professional, sharing training footage, sponsor content, and updates about potential upcoming fights. Still, fans couldn't help but notice the sudden absence of any recent family posts, which only added more fuel to the speculation. At this stage, all of it remains just that, speculation. There's been no official confirmation from either Ilia or Georgina, and no public statements addressing the rumors. Whether this signals an actual separation or just a temporary social media adjustment remains unclear. Until either of them speaks directly on the matter, fans are left guessing, piecing together clues from online activity and reading between the lines of what's been posted and what's been quietly deleted. Moving on to another news, Demetrius Johnson believes neither Conor nor Jon Jones deserve to headline the UFC's historic White House card. After Dana White officially announced that the UFC will hold an event at the White House on June 14th, speculation quickly began about who would get the main event spotlight. The top 2 names in the conversation were Conor and Jones, but Mighty Mouse isn't on board with that idea. Speaking in a recent YouTube video, Johnson explained that active fighters who are consistently competing and putting in the work should be the ones rewarded with such an opportunity, not inactive stars who pick and choose when to show up. Johnson said that if someone like Jones came back and took on a tough opponent, maybe someone like Jailton Almeida, and earned his way up through real competition, then he'd fully support seeing him on that card. He described a scenario where Jones says, "I want to be on the White House card. What do I have to do?" And the UFC responds by having him fight the winner of Volkov versus Johnson. If he wins again, great, he earns that White House spot. Johnson made it clear that he's not denying everything Jon Jones has accomplished, calling his career amazing, but emphasized that current, active fighters who are grinding week after week should get first dibs. He continued by saying he doesn't like seeing fighters who are iced sitting back and waiting for the perfect moment to come back while others are out there putting in the work. Maybe they've earned that right, he said. I have no idea. Still, he feels the fighters who are active and hungry deserve that spotlight more. Johnson also didn't hold back when it came to Conor, saying the UFC doesn't need his presence on the White House card. Even for Conor, we don't need his ass on the White House, he said bluntly. He acknowledged that Conor and Donald Trump have a good relationship, but insisted that shouldn't be the reason to push aside other deserving athletes. In Johnson's eyes, this historic event should be a celebration of fighters who are putting the rubber to the pavement right now, the ones showing up, taking risks and keeping the sport alive through their consistency and effort. Moving on to another news, Paddy Pimblett shared his live reaction to Alex Pereira's stunning knockout win over Magomed Ankalaev. Watching the fight unfold, Paddy couldn't believe how quickly it ended, saying, "It's over. Oh my God, it's over already. Wow, that was fast." He seemed surprised that Magomed didn't even try to move after getting dropped. "Why didn't he move there though, lad?" Paddy said. "I thought Herb Dean was going to jump in early, but he didn't. He let it go and Ankalaev just didn't move. Those elbows were lovely. I kept thinking he was going to scramble or shoot for a single leg, but he just never did." Paddy went on to praise Pereira's incredible power, saying, "Right on the ear, lad. He's so strong, so powerful." He added that Pereira's win is actually a great thing for the promotion. "It's better for the UFC that he's champion," Paddy said. "Definitely more people are interested in watching Pereira fight than Ankalaev. He's just more exciting, more dangerous, and he brings that energy fans love." Paddy then talked about the potential future for Pereira, saying it would be sick to see him move up to heavyweight and try to become a two-division champ. "I think he'll at least defend his light heavyweight belt again," he said. "But while I'm saying that, you never know, lad. Tom could beat Cyril, and Pereira could be right there saying he wants to fight him next. You never know what can happen in this game." Paddy clearly sees Pereira as a special kind of fighter who brings attention wherever he goes. "It's just mad how he keeps doing it," Paddy said, laughing in disbelief. "He makes it look easy. The way he times his shots, the way he lands, it's frightening." He also mentioned that if Pereira ever does make the move to heavyweight, a matchup with Tom Aspinall would be one of the biggest fights the UFC could make. "You could see him go up and fight Aspinall," Paddy added. "But Aspinall's grappling would be the big difference in that fight." That's where it gets tricky. For Paddy, Pereira's success isn't just about power or skill. It's about the excitement he brings to the sport. "He's box office, lad," Paddy said. "Every time he fights, people stop what they're doing to watch. The UFC is just better off with him as champion." Moving on to another news, Dana White has officially shut down Conor's latest comments about his UFC return. Over the past few days, Conor has made several bold and confusing claims regarding his next fight, even saying he's been in talks with the Trump administration about competing on a White House card. During an appearance on Sean Hannity's show, Conor confidently stated that the deal was already done, saying, "Done deal. Signed, delivered. It's not a negotiation. I'll compete at the White House for America's 250th birthday." Naturally, fans were shocked, and questions began pouring in about whether Conor was actually telling the truth. But at the UFC 320 post-fight press conference, Dana White addressed those rumors head-on, making it clear that none of Conor's claims were accurate. "We're still talking about production and how everything's going to work at the White House," White said. "We haven't started negotiating any fights for that event yet. That won't even begin until February." White went on to clarify that while Conor is extremely eager to fight on that card, no bout agreements or negotiations have even started. He added, "Conor's fired up. He wants that spot, but nothing's done yet. And there are no talks with the White House about fights." Many fans believe the UFC could simply be holding off on announcing Conor's official return. But given his recent demand for a $200 million compensation package, White's response didn't surprise anyone. Despite being shut down publicly, Conor continued to insist that his comeback was locked in. During a recent media call, he doubled down, saying, "I am Conor. I can do as I please. I've got my UFC contract. I've got the fight at the White House coming up in 8 months. Then I've got one more fight left on my contract. The UFC have a decision to make. Do they secure me or do they let me go?" He went on to say that his only focus now is on preparation, regardless of how things unfold behind the scenes. Not long after, at a BKFC event, Conor brought up his situation again, teasing that talks with the UFC were still ongoing. "Don't get me wrong, I miss the fight game," he said. "The UFC are working on a new contract or something like that. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. God is great, and I thank him every day." As usual, his comments have kept fans guessing, wondering if this is another classic Conor headline grab or a real sign of progress toward his long-awaited return. Meanwhile, in other news, Magomed Ankalaev reportedly fought Alex Pereira at UFC 320 with a broken rib. According to journalist Leo Guimaraes, Ankalaev sustained the injury just 20 days before the fight, with footage surfacing online showing him being examined by doctors. The clip allegedly reveals that some members of his team urged him to pull out, but the decision wasn't unanimous. Despite the pain, Ankalaev chose to go through with the fight. Analysts like Luke Thomas later criticized the move, calling it a remarkably bad idea. Fans were divided, with some saying the injury explained his quick loss, while others argued it made no difference given Pereira's striking power. Ali Abdelaziz, Ankalaev's manager, later hinted on Instagram that there were serious issues during camp, but insisted it was the fighter's decision to compete. Whatever the case, it's clear that both Conor's contract saga and Ankalaev's injury drama have the fight world buzzing once again. Moving on to another news, After Alex Pereira's emphatic win at UFC 320, Dana White revealed that the Brazilian powerhouse told him he wants to move up to heavyweight. Despite Pereira's interest, Dana wasn't completely on board with the idea, noting that Pereira once fought at 185 pounds and that jumping 2 weight classes might be too big of a stretch. But Bisping sees things differently. Speaking on his Believe You Me podcast, Bisping said Pereira's size and frame make him an ideal fit for the heavyweight division. He believes Pereira could easily bulk up to around 240 or 245 pounds, which is right in line with other top heavyweights. Bisping also shared his thoughts on Pereira's next move, suggesting that instead of chasing a super fight with Jon Jones at the rumored White House event, Pereira should focus on facing Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight title. He said that matchup would make perfect sense, possibly headlining the UFC's first major card under its new broadcast deal with Paramount. According to Bisping, Pereira already walks around at about 234 pounds, which means he wouldn't be undersized against anyone in the division. There's no problem with that at all, he said. It all lines up perfectly. He went on to add that the White House card should follow a specific theme, something like Americans versus non-Americans, to celebrate the historical roots of 1776. Since Pereira is Brazilian and Aspinall is British, Bisping joked that this particular matchup wouldn't fit that theme. Still, he praised both fighters, saying that Aspinall has been on an incredible run and will likely defeat Cyril Gane next. For Bisping, the perfect time for Pereira versus Aspinall would be in the first quarter of 2026, kicking off the Paramount era in style. He said, "There you go, there's your big matchup. Can Pereira become the first ever 3-division UFC champion? And if he loses, he just stays at 205. No problem." Meanwhile, in other UFC news, Sean Strickland is setting his sights on a different kind of fight for his return to the octagon. While fans have been buzzing about a potential rematch between Strickland and Israel Adesanya, it seems that's not what the former middleweight champion wants. During a recent interview with MMA Junkie, Strickland made it clear that his preferred opponent is Anthony Hernandez, also known as Fluffy. He said he believes this is the fight to make for his comeback, emphasizing that it's the type of matchup that could put him right back into title contention. Strickland said, "I imagine me and Fluffy might be going at it. I think this is the fight to make. I don't want Israel Adesanya. I'm not going to fight Izzy. Honestly, that's the easier fight for me, but I want to fight that little Chaw. I want to fight somebody like Fluffy." He went on to say that Hernandez's grappling heavy style makes him the perfect test. "He's like the American Khamzat," Strickland said. "If I go out there and out-wrestle him for 5 rounds, it proves my point. I'm one of the best grapplers in the UFC, I just don't always get to show it." For Strickland, it's not about chasing names, it's about proving himself against the toughest stylistic challenges. And in his mind, Anthony Hernandez is exactly that.